Hey everyone, welcome to Unearth with Shelly Hughes. I'm Shelly Hughes. Today I want to talk about something near and dear to my heart, and that is our internship program. It's really a really unique model and something that I get a lot of praise about. We get a lot of good feedback about. So if you're interested in making your internship program just that much more enjoyable for not just you, but the interns and, making it something that you are also encouraging the best in talent, keep listening because this might help you out and give you some ideas. So this is Unearth with Shelly Hughes. I love to unpack the good, the bad, and the ugly of business and entrepreneurship. In this podcast, we talk about, the epic fails, the wins, the challenges, and especially lessons learned about building a profitable, passionate brand. So let's talk about internship programs. So back up. I have my background. I did a ton of internships. I remember one summer in college, I did 3 different internships at the same time. I did Monday, Wednesday at Xfinity Live down in Philadelphia on their marketing team. I did Tuesday, Thursday at Gift of Life program down on Callow Hill Street in Philly. And I did Fridays at the Red Cross of Southeastern Pennsylvania. And that was just one summer. I had internships other than that as well. I've had really, really good internships and I've had really, really bad internships. And I think what made the good internship so good is I was given leadership opportunities, which as an intern, you don't really expect that, right? Giving leadership opportunities, I was given opportunities to work directly with some of the creative staff that I worked with. And I was able to just really have some autonomy in what I did and how I did it, which was really cool. So I've also had really bad internships, and those bad internships were, fetching coffee, and it was doing some of the annoying labor, that comes and goes in the marketing field. And it was just I had to show up, kind of do my job, and leave. There wasn't much mentorship or guidance around it. So, internships, and I guess this goes into my passion for kind of mentoring youth and mentoring, future leaders. Is I've always really taken over the internship programs at any company that I've worked at. A lot of people think of interns as people to go fetch coffee, and when I worked in video production, did they get coffee for the set when we were, setting up? Of course they did. But it wasn't an everyday thing. They might have been kind of in charge of craft services, but craft services was an integral part of the entire system. And not just that, but they were able to get much more diverse experience in the office as well as on set, and that was just in one case. So when I started Nolia Roots, I really wanted this internship program to not just support the interns, but really kind of be a recruitment tool for us. I never want to hire someone before I work with them. I always want to make sure that even if I'm hiring them, post grad, I will work with them on a project, obviously pay them well, but really see how they work, see how they work with the team, see how they work independently, see how creative they are. Because the last thing I want to do is go through an interview process, ask them some, hard questions, and then hire someone, and then, and not really work out. They always say hire slow and fire fast, and having a 6-month internship program that usually turns into a 9 or 12-month relationship before they get hired is definitely a hiring slow strategy. So, and I think this internship that we put together really makes us just attract the best talent. We're able to be picky and choosy of who we work with and who we hire. And I think it's because we give these students some truly real world autonomous an opportunity to utilize their craft and perfect their craft. Let's talk about it. So we only offer 6-month internship programs. And the reason for this mainly is because in 3 months, you can basically be getting your feet under you. You kind of you're finally understanding how things work. Remember, this isn't full this isn't a full day internship all the time because a lot of these kids, they have classes. Um, so it's really the first 3 months is all about getting your feet wet and truly understanding how the system works, how it works to work in an agency, honing in your skills, right? So we only offer 6 month internships, and how it's split up is exactly that. Those first 3 months, you are just learning. You are a sponge, right? We're not really expecting much from you, to be completely honest. Um, if you are kind of one of those unicorns and you get things quickly, yeah, man, we'll start giving you some more important roles and responsibilities. But to be completely honest, we don't have very high expectations for those first 3 months. Get your feet wet, be a sponge, learn from your supervisors, learn from those around you, ask a ton of questions, and just be as proactive and participating as possible. Then the second 3 months, they get a pay raise because honestly, we're expecting them to contribute to the overall, ecosystem of Nolia Roots. Do they do a ton of client work? No, but they might do a small piece of client work, because that's really what they want. They want to be able to say, I worked with this client. Are they going to be the ones that are fully fledged doing the work? Absolutely not. Number one, to be honest, we can't always trust them. They might be a little bit inconsistent because of client or because of classes and things like that, homeworks, midterms. But it kind of gives them a little inkling of like, ooh, like this is fun. I'm working with this client. I'm doing actual client work, some real world stuff. But what makes the internship so cool is we challenge our intern group that usually has very diverse skills. So we might have a PR intern, a social media intern, a digital marketing intern, a business administration intern, and maybe a graphic design intern. And so they have all these different strengths, right? And what we do is we challenge them to create their own micro agency. And I'm saying create it. I'm saying come up with a name, come up with a logo, come up with your own color palette and branding, come up with your letterhead, and most importantly, come up with some roles that not just play to your strengths as an individual, right? If you're a graphic designer, you might be graphic design intern, but covers the roles and responsibilities needed for the project that you're given. What this project is every 6 months we choose a client partner, and this is a pro bono partnership that you know I am and my team put together. And we find a client partner. A lot of times it's a nonprofit, but sometimes it's a for-profit that just may not be able to totally afford, full-on marketing agency work, but they just have a lot of heart behind what they do, and they deserve a little push in a certain way in their marketing ecosystem. So we'll choose a client partner. This last go around, it was Girls Auto Clinic down in Upper Darby. They have a great branding. They have a wonderful, wonderful look on how they're impacting the community. Past client partners have been like Alex's Lemonade Stand and things like that. So it can be for profit or nonprofit. We choose a client partner. We talk to the client partner. I do really, and we decide on what kind of project they need versus what I really feel like are can complement the strengths of our micro agency, and present the project to the micro agency, saying, "Here's a client. Here's a project that you're doing, and okay, let's guide you through a discovery call." And they kind of separate their roles and responsibilities based on, again, not just strengths, but the project that they're handed. So for example, for Girls Auto Clinic, we realized that they had such a strong brand, and they have lots of brandisms, and they have, their values are just so prominent in their branding that they would really benefit from kind of a merchandise and swag strategy, not just as an extra stream of income, but really to turn a lot of their customers that are really nationwide and global into brand ambassadors. So, and the challenge that we gave the intern team, which they called themselves Thrive, their micro agency, is okay. Your project is a merch strategy. And the goal of this is to translate the branding and the brand isms and the values of the brand and how to translate that into merch so that people who share those same values will feel connected. So what I didn't want this to be was, slapping the Girls Auto Clinic logo on a t-shirt, right? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how can we think creatively in, translating those values onto swag items and then having that be a separate stream of income for the client, and just really spreading the word about what those values are, and wanting people to be a part of that tribe. So they split up their roles and responsibilities. Obviously, there was a graphic designer. We always have a lead, and this person, their job is to project manage the timeline, be the client liaison, schedule all the meetings, kind of be the lead strategy, but not always. We had a data analyst, so we were able to really look at what past swag items worked really well, what didn't work well, what was the best selling, what kind of our profit margins are going to be for some of these items. And we had what she called herself. It was some kind of like business growth supervisor, I think. And she was the one that kind of thought about, okay, how can we market this new merchandise? So they spend 2 or 3 months meeting with the client, having client client check-ins with them, executing this project. They get lots of guidance from us, but honestly, we are not involved in the project. We will come in at kind of like the 10% done, the 30% done, the 60% done mark, and we'll give a lot of feedback. We'll really translate our expectations of what the client is really saying and what they're asking for, and really what the expectations are for us, because anything that goes out our door, whether it's for us or the micro agency, I want to make sure that it is top notch and it not just exceeds my expectations, but the client's expectations, and most importantly, the intern's expectations. And then at the end, there's a client presentation, and it's really, really powerful to not just support this organization that we choose as a client partner, that is really doing great things in their community, but it's also giving this intern group such a real world experience of they can put on their resume, they can put on LinkedIn. I was the account coordinator at Thrive Micro Agency, and they can talk exactly about what their role was for this project. So what's really cool from that is we then offer part-time positions for those interns that we really see stood out in that partnership. Part-time positions if they, are still in school after those 6 months. We typically, out of, a group of 5, we might take 3 of them and to keep on as part-timers. And so, our graphic designer, for example, she just transferred from graphic design intern to she's our in-house graphic designer part-time. She's finishing up her senior year. She's only taking a few classes, and she's really working with us a ton on client work now because she is no longer an intern. She has really proven herself. We've seen her grow in her skill set. She's aligned perfectly with Nolia Roots, values. And she's a great part of the team now. Only comes in, 3 days a week or so, works from home the other couple days, but it's a great way to then find those people that, are unicorns and that work really well with our team, and we're able to hire them post grad. So I love our internship program. I think it's really unique. I think it's just so beneficial for all parties involved. But here's the thing, we're looking for the next client partner for this summer. So I think when this goes out, it'll be March. We are trying to finalize a client partner probably by like later spring. So if you are interested in, being a client partner, or a nonprofit that's really, doing good things in the community, or a business that's doing really good things in the community, has a lot of heart behind what they do, I would love to meet them and see if they'd be interested in kind of a pro bono marketing project. And it's really impressive. Every single time we do this, the client partner is just blown away. Their expectations are blown out of the water, and they're really excited about what they're receiving. So if you know of anyone, send me a DM. I would love to talk to them. But if you love, hopefully this gave you some ideas on how you can improve your internship program. I think an internship program is not just great for internship is not just for free labor. If you think that's what it is, you're thinking all wrong. Yeah, if you like this, please share with someone you think would benefit from it. Send it to someone who might be a great client partner of our next internship program. And yeah, appreciate your time. Like, follow, do all the things, send it to someone you think, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks.